Okay, friends, let's go. Welcome back to the Be Your Best Show. It's Jess here. I'm super excited that you're here. I am standing up, so things are going down. I'm in the studio coming at you today, and I was just tired of sitting. So I am on my feet, ready to move. If you're listening in and if you're watching, you can tell. Today, we are talking about what is personal development, because I feel like I've mentioned a few times, this is really like, yes, my Instagram is Jess Takamoto Fitness, and I also have a business account, but a lot of what I've actually shared about is not related to fitness. It's not like how to improve your cardio or like 3 things to do, like strength workout ideas. Like, it's none of that. It's all about just like literally getting up and moving your body. And the premise behind all of this is, and this podcast, being the best version of yourself. So I'm hesitant to change the name because like Jess Takamoto Fitness has been around for like 3 years now. And I feel like a lot of people like that name, but it truly is about personal development. And I've said this, and if you don't know what personal development is, or if you've heard the term personal development and you're like, oh, that's a fancy way of saying self-help, in a way, yes and no. But my question is like, why does self-help have such a bad rep? Like, I think a lot of people think like, oh, self-help, that's so, like, that's like ick or cringy or whatever. But helping yourself, I mean, that's the best thing you can do. Taking care of yourself is like being like I always say, being the real version of you is the hardest thing you can do in life. So what is so cringe or icky about working on you? Because when you are better, everyone around you is better too. That's the truth. That's the fact. So, like I said, I'm getting fired up. I'm standing up today. Maybe I should do all my podcasts standing up. Personal development is essentially the study of yourself. Just like you would go to school to learn math and you'd sit in a class and learn how to do equations, when you're doing personal development, you are studying yourself. You're learning more about yourself and your stories and your limiting beliefs and your mindset and how can you be better. So there is the mental component and absolutely the physical and emotional components as well. They all tie together. Essentially, I'm not really like here to teach you about fitness. I'm here to teach you about how can you be the best version of yourself. So as much as, yes, I got started in fitness, I got started because I love motivating you. I love inspiring you. I want to fire you up and give you that push you need to be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to set some goals. I am going to follow through. I'm going to create new habits. I'm going to work on my physical health. I'm going to work on my mental health. I'm going to go to therapy. I'm going to ditch the crappy job. I'm going to leave the relationship. I'm going to have the courage to get into a relationship. Like, whatever it is, this is what personal development helps you with. I heard a quote one time. It said, in school, they teach you what to think. When I started studying personal development, I learned how to think. Think about how powerful that is. Learning how to think, not what to think. So how you react to situations, how you control your emotions, your perspective on any given situation. No situation, like some situations are very bad and tragic, of course, but majority of the situations in your everyday life, you are perceiving as terrible, these major inconveniences, or you could perceive them as like signs from the universe that there's obstacles getting in your way for a reason, or it's working towards a higher good, right? Like, this is all about perspective and mindset. And so personal development is, in essence, it's allowing yourself to see things from a different perspective. You are asking questions and you are digging deep and you are asking yourself, like, what do I really want? What brings me joy? What lights me up? How can I live as the most authentic and true version of myself? And it's not just like you flip a switch, right? Like, we're humans, we're complex beings. It's like an onion and you're peeling back layers. And you can have these like little breakthroughs of like, maybe it starts more surface level of like, oh my goodness. And this is how it started for me. I'll tell you all about my personal development journey, but this is how it started for me was like, I'm in business school. I don't think I want to do a corporate job. Like, what do I want to do with my life? That's where it started. That was like the outer layer of the onion, was like this realizing and allowing myself to say like, I don't want to take that path. And being like, what do I want to do? What kind of career is going to be good for me? And digging into that and questioning and exploring other options. And that's how I eventually landed on entrepreneurship. But that was the top layer of the onion. And then the more I reflected, journaled, read, learned, went to therapy, etc., the more I can uncover, stories from my past, limiting beliefs, reasons why, looking at imposter syndrome, looking at, people pleasing. Why do I have such a hard time saying no? Why do I feel guilty about certain things or overthink situations? And this is honestly, part of it is the process of growing up, right? But if you actually dedicate time, instead of life throwing you obstacles and then ignoring them or pushing them away, if you make that time to ask yourself these questions, you develop, you grow at such a faster rate. That means you're gonna work through your emotional baggage, the things holding you back, the stories, the limiting beliefs, the things that you feel like are crappy situations and you don't know why, or the things that trigger you, you don't know why. When you actually can work through those, you get to be happier, healthier, more confident, more sure of yourself, do things that you want to do faster, right? So you're accelerating that process. And why would you want to live 10 years doing something to make other people happy and then realizing after 10 years, right? That's part of it, is make the most of the now. And so this is a Jess rant, okay? You know me, it's a Jess rant. But personal development is working on yourself, and that is a really, really commendable thing. And that comes in, again, physical, mental, emotional. So what is it when you're okay, this is very broad, I kind of understand where you're going with this, but I don't quite get it. I like listening to your podcast because you inspire me, I hope. You're inspiring me, and yes, I hear you. I do want to be a better version of myself. And this is the thing, it's this duality, right? You can be a great version of yourself right now and so happy with yourself and confident and things are going well and still work towards that continual improvement. That's okay, that's amazing. I think life is a growing and learning process and it never has to stop. So be happy with where you're at, be proud of how far you've come, but keep going. It's a limitless, right? It's this onion. There's never ending layers and layers that you can work through and continually have more peace, more joy, more clarity, more happiness, everything. So we're gonna start. Listen to this podcast. Take in some of the things I'm saying. The biggest thing that started for me was a morning routine, and it was very practical. It was not, there was no woo, there was no mindset, there was none of that. It was practical. I literally read what do successful people, those Medium, Forbes or whatever, what do habits of successful people, and one of them was they have a morning routine. I'm okay, well, if I want to be successful, I should make a morning routine. That was my logical linear thinking. So I'm okay, what do these routines consist of? And I read a book on morning routines, Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod, and I'm okay, I'm going to start doing this because this book said to do this, successful morning routine. Get up, journal, read, do some silence, affirmations, move your body, drink some water, etc. So I'm doing this, right? And then over time, I slowly adjusted to figure out what parts of it were working for me and what parts maybe weren't so much for me. And because I was focused on this very practical routine, that's how I started reading, I kind of liked this book on morning routines. Maybe there's another one because I don't like this part of it. Or how can I build better habits to optimize my time so I have more free time? Or, why is having free time important? And you kind of get in this process of going. So if you're looking for where to start, I would start with some sort of daily routine that you do for you. The first place to start, move your body, okay? Exercise. It is so important for you. You don't, I feel at this stage, we've been together a long time, a lot of us. So I don't need to sell you anymore on why exercise is important. You know it's 150 minutes a week. You have to move your body. So do it, right? Make a routine, 10 minutes of walking a day. Awesome. YouTube videos, awesome. Do something that you like that makes you feel good, because you're literally gonna physiologically, you get those endorphins going. That is the one thing that you can start to do every single day to start feeling like your best, right? You build this exercise routine, now add some mental or emotional components, because I guarantee there's things that you need to work through that you don't know you need to work through yet, okay? You don't know the things you need to work through, but I guarantee they're in there, because that's life. Shit happens to us. There's situations, conflicts, arguments, trauma from your past, all sorts of things that you probably have to work through. You don't need to work through yet. And that's okay. You're not supposed to know that you need to work through them until you work through them. But start doing something every single day for you, because you deserve it and you are worth it. And the sooner you start owning who you are, the better your life's gonna get, and the more it's like the airline thing. Like, you help yourself and then you'll help the people around you. When you let your light shine, no pun intended, because I know my fitness company is called Shine. When you let your light shine, it's not dimming the lights of others, it's making the whole room brighter. So anyone that tries to judge you or make you feel icky or criticize you or make you feel like weird for wanting to do something good for you, that's a projection of themselves. That has nothing to do with you. Go do it for you and do it with pride, and maybe one day they'll actually be inspired by you and do the same thing. That's all for today. Personal development, it's a really cool thing, and if you're here for the personal development journey, because it is a never-ending journey, then welcome to the Be Your Best Show, and I'm so excited to have you in the community.